Hi friends, we're gonna do the paint tube illustration, and this is a really creative project because you can use any ideas you have for what might be in your paint color. So I've got a real tube of paint here, and I took the cap off, and I'm gonna put it here just so we can kind of reference what a real paint tube looks like, and yours can be a little bit abstract. It doesn't have to be completely realistic, but this is gonna help us. So I'm going to create this big shape here first and start with this line. So I want to leave room for the paint that's going to be pouring out over here. So kind of try to imagine if your paper had a line, diagonal line going across, and your paint tube is down here, and then up there is your paint. So this line right here is curved a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit larger than it is in real life. And then the lines are pretty straight, but they actually go out a little bit. Do you see that? Almost like a skirt. So I'm going to start with that loose shape right there. And then I notice that these lines go up. That's the silver part I'm looking at right there. Until it gets narrow enough to have the part where the cap screws onto, and I'll do a couple lines like that. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Now this part is up to you, but I would like you to create two curved lines and put whatever your paint is. So we looked at one that said galaxy and another one that said ocean, and it had, looked like the ocean in there. So this is up to you. You could do an emotion like happy or sad. I thought it would be fun to do a season, and since summer's coming up, you can do either a landscape of summer, so I could do a horizon line, the ocean, and a place you like to go in the summer, or you could do kind of a pattern, which I thought might be fun. Like what if you did an ice cream cone and a beach umbrella and just all the different things, a sun that remind you of summer. Might be different for everyone, right? There's certain things that you like to do in the summer. And then you would write summer there. And remember, when you're doing lettering, it's easy to run out of room. So if you have your paint tube here and you've got your label, count out how many letters you have. So maybe you did ocean, and you know that it has ocean like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E is in the middle. So if you start with E and you make little marks for where your other letters are going to go, that will help you to really spread it out evenly. So those are really light. Those will get erased later. But if I go back and I make that into an A, that into an N, C, O, and I try to keep to this curve, right? Because the paint tube is not flat. When you go over with Sharpie, you can perfect it even more. I'll do the whole thing just so we can see. Curve line. So my letters went along with that curved line, and then you erase, and all those marks that you made will disappear. So that might help you. So summer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's even, so it doesn't have a letter in the center, but you could still do a line for the center and say, okay, if that's my center, I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I have to fit my letters there. So S, U, M, M, E, R, and then all those messy marks I made to help me will go away later. So that's a good tip whenever you're doing any kind of lettering. And then this part, I'm gonna leave up to you, and I can't wait to see what you do and what you come up with. When we get to the color part, so I'm gonna outline everything with Skinny Sharpie. imagine everything's outlined with Skinny Sharpie. Erase. You can make the little bumps right here if you want to. You could make a different kind of a paint tube. You could do a spray paint can. It could be some other container if you can think of it. It could be a jar that's pouring. You guys are really creative, and I know you can come up with other ideas other than my own. So if I outline everything with Skinny Sharpie, you could even do like drips, right, of the paint. We're going to use watercolor and keep this pretty black and white, kind of like we did our Janarani letters. But you can also use colored pencil for the smaller areas. And then maybe you could paint the background so it really does look like paint. So maybe I really wanted this to be detailed and controlled with my colored pencil, but then I wanted this background to be like a summery orangish yellow maybe, and I really want it to look like paint. So then I'll use paint for the background. And maybe you don't want the black outline around there. That's up to you. So you can use mixed media, different mediums, different types of art supplies, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so I can't wait to see what you do. Have fun.